Okay, so basically I've gotten the Exocet out. You guys probably saw my previous video. I did a few pulls on it. I had my overboost protection in my MS3 set to about, I think it was 12 PSI. And I was starting to get into that, so I lowered it down to 10 PSI. You know, basically did a good pull up to about 3/4 throttle, up to about, say, 5,000 RPMs, and bam, hit my fuel and spark cut really hard. I was boosting way too much for an 8 PSI wastegate spring, which is what it said was in the wastegate actuator. Main issue I think that I'm having though is the port on my Chinese turbocharger is way too small. Now this is common with the Chinese turbochargers. The little flapper in the wastegate, the actual door, is quite large, and then the actual port hole is just like, you know, like dinky in comparison. So the main reason I know that I have a problem is I disconnected my wastegate actuator from the actual wastegate and wired the wastegate completely open, and I went down the road and did a couple pulls. Basically I was hitting at about 5,500 RPMs at about 2/3 throttle. I was hitting about 6 to 7 PSI. Let's get in there, let's get this turbine housing off the car, and I'll show you what I'm going to do for some porting. Okay, so for you that were wondering how you do this basic test, is this is your actual wastegate here, this piece. This is the arm that will actually control the opening and closing of the wastegate. This here is your actuator and the actuator rod. This basically goes over here, and then there's a little C-clip that holds that in that I of course lost. But basically if you want to test this, pull this off and then somehow get this, you know, wired back over to down here to where it'll basically keep this wastegate open. So what's happening is the air flowing through here that normally goes out your exhaust and spins your turbine wheel. When the wastegate opens, it releases some of that pressure into the exhaust. So it basically allows it to bypass the turbine wheel and get into the exhaust without actually hitting the turbocharger, besides the inside here. So with that open, it should be building very little to no boost, evidently, and I'm building quite a bit of boost. So basically that was the test that I did. Now what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to kind of pull this turbine section off. I'm going to pull the exhaust off, unbolt it from here, unbolt it down here, and try to remove this without taking everything, all the plumbing out of the car and everything. And then I'll show you the housing here, and we'll get that ported up. Okay, so now as you can see, I have the turbine housing removed from the turbocharger. I'm just going to show you guys something here. This right here is the wastegate, little flapper valve there. As you can see, this disc seats around the wastegate to keep it closed. This hole here is your exhaust from the turbine housing. Now, when the wastegate actuator senses enough boost, it basically has a spring that opens that up. Now, as you can see, that hole in there is quite a bit smaller than this flapper valve. So what I'm going to do is get some brake clean in there and clean this up. I'm going to probably add a couple millimeters around the outside of that hole. And then I am also going to do a little, let me get a light here. Don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but way back in there, you see that that's the wastegate hole, way far in there. Basically, when I get in there, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to port a trench right down the middle here. The idea being it'll help direct the exhaust gases, not just do a 90-degree turn down into that hole, but I'm going to bevel the edge of that hole some and then put a little trench in here, starting here just a little bit, and then as I go in deeper to the hole to kind of direct some of the current down to the wastegate port. Okay, so I've got some of the porting done here. As you guys can see, this hole I got to clean up a little more, but I got it quite a bit wider than the previous, or the stock hole was. Also in here, I got a pretty good chamber going in there. I don't know if you can see all the way down in there, but basically there's a little, you know, angle. So there's flow directly to that wastegate. You can see just the shiny edge that I've bored out there. So now airflow will actually travel toward the wastegate, not just over the wastegate. I got to get in here into the actual opening here, and I got to port that out a little bit more, and then I think I'm going to call that good for now. Okay, so now I got a good brake clean bath on it. I got the entire turbo cleaned out, and here are the kind of final results, if you will. There you can see the opening in the port there. It's quite a bit bigger. I got it cleaned up a little bit, and then down here, I don't know how well you can see, but you can see where I have done the honing here, basically all the way up inside there. So I think it looks a lot better. I don't know if you guys can see in the light there. I don't know if the camera light's good enough to tell, but you know, it's got a pretty good direction toward the wastegate port, and then that wastegate port is quite a bit bigger than before. So got this all cleaned up. I'm done for tonight, but tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and slap the turbine housing back on the turbo, and we'll get her running. Okay, so I did a little more porting. I basically got that wastegate hole nice and big and open. Hopefully this, I'll let you guys see it there. Hopefully this does the trick. And I also got that channel there. Try to get it in the camera in the light here. Get that channel really bored out there. Don't know how well you guys can see it in that light. So anyways, I'd say I have roughly twice the port opening for the wastegate as I did before. It was, not much bigger than my pinky finger before, and now the circumference is probably quite a bit larger and should flow quite a bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and get this sucker bolted back up to the car and go for a drive and see how she works. Okay, so here we are about 4 or 5 months later. I actually forgot I was making this video, and I decided I should finally give the results, video the results from the porting of the wastegate. So I'm a little older, much wiser, and I've basically learned a little bit about what I did. First off, was it a success? Yes, it was. I was able to hold around about, I would say, 12 to 13 PSI to redline, whereas before at about 4,500 RPMs most of the time under full throttle, I was hitting boost cut at about, I think it was about 13 PSI. So it definitely made a big difference. One thing I would have done is I would have made the port even bigger, just absolutely as big as I can, that the flapper would still allow it to seal up. The other thing that I did to test how well the wastegate port was working is I actually went ahead and held the wastegate, wired it open again, and did some full pulls down the street, and I was running about, I think about 1 PSI of boost is all it would build. So that let me know that the wastegate porting was actually allowing those extra exhaust gases to escape and not spool the turbo. And in turn, I didn't have the boost creep like I did. With doing some pressure tests with my compressor on that wastegate actuator, it's about 25 PSI before the spring fully opens for the wastegate actuator. So just to give you a heads up, this porting needs to be done, but also there's some spring issues that you will have to work on. I have a video coming out, hopefully in the next week or two. I'll get that edited and get that up, showing how I did a little extra spring mod to my wastegate actuator to actually lower my boost even more. So also, I never explained the tooling I was using while I was porting the actual turbo out. The two tools that I used is basically a Metabo electric die grinder. You can also, Harbor Freight has a version of this that will work as well. You can use an air die grinder as well too. I have one, I just didn't have enough compressor to keep it going long enough, and the electric one honestly worked just fine. And I basically just used a kind of cylindric cone shaped type bit. I've seen them online for about 20, 30 bucks. You could use a Dremel, I suppose, to do this work. I have a Dremel, I have tons of bits for a Dremel, but this is some pretty heavy grinding, and you'll probably be a little better off spending some money on an electric die grinder and a bit for that die grinder. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions or anything, please leave them down in the comments below. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I would appreciate it.